Hey everybody, and welcome to my In5 series on the Akai MPC, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. I've been getting a lot of people writing in recently about how do you connect USB-C to USB-C on the Akai MPC Live 3, because we can send USB audio and MIDI information, and people are finding all kinds of devices that this does not work on. And I'm going to have to do this again. Not a problem. Happy to explain things, but there's a couple terms that folks need to learn and understand to help you get a sense for what's going on. So the first thing I want to talk about is the MIDI jack on the SP404 mk2 here. It is USB-C, and that's just telling you what kind of cable you need to connect in. But a thing that you actually have to know about the device itself is if it is a USB host, which would be like a computer, your phone, a tablet, and some instruments, or if it is a USB device. And if it's a device, what that means is it just sits there and waits for some other component to go tell it what to do. And if it's a host, it means it actually has to have the drivers and other things to be able to be compatible with MIDI audio or whatever other protocols and information is being sent over the USB jack. So for folks that do know, the SP404 mk2 is 100% a USB device. It is just sitting there waiting for another component to do something with it. Now, the MPC Live 3 is actually both, which is important to know. But over this USB-C jack, it is only a USB device, and it needs a computer, iPad, iPhone, or other instrument or something that happens to be a host to connect to it. And I'm going to show you a few things, which just makes this more complicated than maybe it needs to be, but this is just how it is. So I'm going to plug it in and show you. Now, the important part though is these two jacks here that are, I believe they're USB, I think they're USB 3. I'd have to go look at it, like deep in the port there, but I believe they're high-speed jacks. They're at least good enough jacks to support USB 2 over them, but they are host. It is a host. So anything that is just class compliant for MIDI and or audio, you will be able to send audio and MIDI between the two here, and I'll show you that in a minute. But just so you know, like if you come into your track here and you plug these two together, I just have MPC A and B, which are the MIDI jacks on like the 5-pin DINs on the back. We've got remote, but then you have USB MIDI port 1 and 2, which is over here. And it's just like, I'll send stuff. If there's anything on the other end to receive it, it will take it. Otherwise, it just goes out into outer space. And what you'd normally see if you plugged in over USB is it would also say SP404 mk2. That is not in the list for MIDI. And MIDI would be the lowest bar to get working. So if MIDI doesn't work, your chances of getting audio working over this jack are 0. Now, I'm just going to disconnect this here. And instead, I've got a USB to USB-C to like USB-A, I think is the name of it. I forget. Somebody will correct me in the comments and be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I'm going to plug that into the other jacks over here, just so you can see what this looks like. And we can then talk about how this works. Probably easier if I actually like picked it up to look at it so I could see. So now it says the USB device is not supported. That's a bummer, because that means the problem is that the SP404 mk2 is actually running at 48 kilohertz, not at 44.1 kilohertz, which has been a problem with the previous MPC live version. So while technically this could be an audio device and it's actually able to see it, you really can't send audio back and forth. So I can say okay here. But if you look here, we do actually have MIDI where it says SP404 mk2 MIDI 1. So we can send the MIDI between the two devices over USB if you want to. Unfortunately, unless Akai comes in and allows us to do 48 kilohertz or 96 kilohertz for audio support, we're not going to be able to use the SP404 mk2 as an audio device. And I'm not totally convinced that you'd want to do this anyway, because when you set up an audio device on your MPC, it is going to replace your your 6 outs and the 2 inputs with whatever the other device is. So you'd go from 6 here and 6 out and 2 in to effectively 2 out, although the Q is actually on the front. Your headphone jack is separate, but it's cloned plus extra audio potentially. and 2 ins. So it doesn't really buy you anything. And at that point, you might as well just use TRS cable or TS cables between the two just to hook up inputs and outputs. I usually, when I'm doing this, I'll go 3 and 4 to go to the input and then route it back over to the 2 ins on the back. So we'll start there. Now, what is this going to do? Well, we actually do have something like you can hook up your iPad here, and I have a video that I just posted fairly recently showing how to do this, which is if we come in and just hook up an iPad, the fun thing is the iPad is basically a computer, and we come plug it in. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to turn it on here, and I can just start, like I got a piano here. I'm playing it. We can see there's like some audio activity going on. It's just not picking it up. That's because I just need to go to the sampler and make sure we are, oh, well, helps if I actually have the MIDI plugged into the MPC, not the SP404 mk2, but we plug that in. There we go. And you can hear like the audio's crackling and stuff. Whatever plugging in the SP404 mk2 did, it probably messed up some of the buffers. So there's some goofiness here. I don't know if there's a good way to reset this. I mean, maybe just come into preferences and then go to audio devices, but we can't change this. We can switch it to 32-bit. Maybe I won't let us do it. So honestly, I think if I want to use USB-C at this point, it's maybe I can unplug from the iPad, plug it back in, and hope that it resets. Or I probably just need to restart the MPC Live 3 here. We do also, I haven't tried this with the OPXY yet, or the field, but this is actually interesting as a device because both the OP1 field and the OPXY can function as both host and device. So these can make it very confusing for people because like I can connect this up to the SP404 mk2 no problem. I'm just curious right now what happens if we turn this on, if it's going to see it. So because if it does, that will be really cool. And it might, we immediately crashed. Fun. Let's give it one more try. If not, I'm just going to end the video and just say, hopefully this helps out explaining. Init file system, we're booting, and no, we're crashing. I suspect that the OPXY is probably going to need some kind of an update or something else, but yeah, good thing we at least have our TRS jacks, and those should be just fine to work with. So, and I think it might be a newer update for OPXY, so maybe I'll check it out, but we're fully booted. Let's try plugging in. Nope. It's just not happy with the MPC Live 3. So I will probably get back to playing around with that and see if I can do some debugging. But yeah, everybody, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.